Pathways is a program who can help anyone. I can't think of a single person who couldn't benefit from this.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
You're a natural.
Command organizer, we can't help it.
Yeah.
Guys, yeah. Where'd you get them?
I think it took a while for it to settle in that Caden was a special needs child. And there was a continuing concern, a concern that developed over about 9 months, her first 9 months of life, that she wasn't meeting developmental milestones. Around Christmas time when she was 11 months old. So we went to bed that night and she was really fussy.
She just kept waking up and Lisa kept going in there.
And about 1:45, I woke up and she was shaking. And she was making this funny noise. And as I think about that moment of waking up and knowing that something was wrong.
I just remember being awoken about whatever time it was, the middle of the night, 1:45, 2 o'clock, with Lisa just in a panic. And of course I just jumped out of bed and grabbed Caden and flipped on the light. And when I flipped on the light, I realized she was blue and she wasn't breathing.
And so Jeff got up and he came in and he picked her up off the bed and he took her into our bedroom.
And I started doing CPR on her right away. Everything for me just completely came to a stop.
I was screaming at the 911 operator. And I was saying, I think my baby is dead. Please get us help, please help. I could hear somebody pounding on our front door. And I opened it and there was this big policeman standing there. He was the first responder.
And about the time she started breathing, I picked her up and I turned around and this huge policeman was walking through my bedroom door.
Pacing the living room, just pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, saying, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, what just happened? Oh God, what just happened?
Going to the hospital, all the things we did was a complete blur after that.
Didn't really get any answers. They sent us home and basically said, kids just do that, they just have seizures. They thought it was a seizure, it wasn't. She was in an oxygen-deprived state for the first year of her life and we had no idea. And it did damage to her brain. And so it was just a new phase of life after that. I fell apart at that point because I had spent so much time doing everything in my power to help Caden get better.
It just, from then on, I mean, it started with Caden, but the anger grew.
I was so broken. I was so exhausted. I was so angry. I was so bitter. Those thoughts were building in me over time, I know. And it culminated driving home from work one day and doing 75, 80 miles an hour down the highway and having this overwhelming feeling of just turn it, just this much, and it'd be over. I could hear the names of Jeff, Caden, and Alexa in my heart and in my mind over and over and over. There was something inside me that knew that no one can do for my kids what I can do. Even if I didn't think I was good enough in that moment, my heart knew no one could do for Caden and Alexa what I can do as their mom. And I had to stop the madness.
Walking into Pathways, going through some processes, I realized, wow, I was really angry. I was angry at God because of all this stuff that happened to Caden, and I just thought it was unfair.
I came home and I took 2 days off work after I came home from the biggest chunk of the training where I did a lot of hard work around understanding who I am. And I took Caden swimming, just the 2 of us, because I wanted to spend one-on-one time with each of our kids. I was trying to get her to lean back to float, and she's looking in my eyes. And I can tell that she's wondering if she can trust me. And I just kept reassuring her, it's okay, baby, I've got you. And eventually, she laid down and she was floating. and she was letting the water come up around the ears, which is her ears, which is a big deal for her because of her sensory issues. And she floated. And she started saying, she loves horses, but her word for horse is Ia. That's just what she says. And so she was saying, I baby Ia, you mommy Ia. And so I just ran with it. And my heart was open to do that because I couldn't have done this before. And I just said, Caden, the mommy horse loves the baby horse more than anything. The mommy horse will always love the baby horse, always and forever, no matter what. Caden, I love you to the moon and back. And she floated there and let me hold her for probably 30 minutes for a child who can't sit still for 2. It was amazing. And I felt like in that moment, Caden's trust in me was restored. And we stepped out of that pool in a very different place than we went in. That was 2 days after I came out of the walk. I believe, and I've seen in my own personal experience, that children are the barometers of their parents' emotional health. And what Pathways gave us was the emotional health, the ability to stand on our own 2 feet emotionally, and we see that reflected back to us in the eyes of our children.